Dolby Atmos music is one of the most emotional musical experiences I've ever had.
It's like hearing music for the first time again. It's a guttural, visceral reaction.
I would say that Dolby Atmos music is an exciting new frontier in music technology.
It's the future. It's that next step that I would always describe to somebody as the idea of when mono went to stereo.
It's super creative canvas to work on, and I love it. I love it. I love thinking that way as an arranger and as a producer and a writer.
The idea of being wrapped in music is just one of the best things ever. You can't beat that.
Here at Access Audio, we wanted to build the best sounding room that we could within our budget. And I feel like we've done that. We decided on an all-Neumann KH speaker line playback system. It's done really well for us. And we treated it like we would any other space, really. There are just a few more considerations. Since you have more speakers, you have more reflection points. But it was really important to have a full range playback system.
We wanted to really commit to building a Dolby Atmos music space. One of the big things that we really kind of honed in on was needing something that was bigger than what we had. Wherever we go to, let's try the best we can to get to equidistant. And especially for music, that seems to translate a little bit better for us. The first time that we saw this room, immediately we were like, this is probably the best we're gonna get with the budget we have right now. So if there's a way to make it happen, we gotta do it.
Our system is driven from an Avid Matrix Studio interface. That's really the brain of the entire system. We share the space, and if we have slightly different preferences for tuning or anything like that, with the Avid Matrix Studio, we can program all that in and change it at the push of a button.
I do most of the mixing exclusively for the two of us, and Mike is always very heavily involved in the mastering process, especially with Dolby Atmos music.
A lot of the creative side of Dolby Atmos music happens on the mix side. So Webster's the one who's making more of those choices, those creative choices about where to place things in the immersive sound field and how to envelop the listener in the sound. My role is maybe a little more technical in that I'm trying to make sure that it's translating properly.
When you're mixing in Atmos, you're not mixing to a playback format, you're mixing to a space. It can be decoded and played back to any device. That was the really, truly exciting thing to me of like, this is a format that now we can mix in, and that can be it. You get to have ultimate control and create this soundscape that's well beyond what our normal experience is. And the possibilities for that are endless and really just exciting.
I've known my partner, Lauren Johnson, for a long time, and he approached me one day and said, how would you like to mix music in Atmos? And the hook was set, and we did a proof of concept, a set of mixes. And then we got to work on designing this room. Lauren and I decided on using a modified lighting truss to hang the speakers on. What we like about the Yamahas is that they're tight, they're full range, they're smooth, they sound great. And what we wanted was a hybrid of a music room and a film room.
90% of what we do in a mix is in the near field and getting a great mix. And so we wanted that really tight configuration. And then Scott's background coming from not only music, but also film, we wanted to design the room where it really had the best of both. And we wanted to be able to hear everything clearly. And then we have limited space, and how can we make this work? And so we talked about how to configure something that not only could we set it up, we could reproduce it. We watch a lot of professionals in the industry that are hearing Dolby Atmos music for the first time. And so they'll come in and it's just a great response. And I think they just start to get super excited. And we try to envision even further and just say, you know, imagine creating specifically for this.
My last project, I wrote with Atmos in mind. So the three-dimensional placement makes you feel like you're in the room with the musicians.
Every instrument has its place. When you start separating things out, you really hear it. I think more and more as people adopt the technology, I think there's going to be some amazing experiences live. we'll be sitting in movie theaters just to listen to records. And then how it all matches with video and head tracking and, you know, live concert footage and all that, we're here to help.
When I finally heard that Dolby was doing Atmos music, I jumped. I was like, okay, I'm ready. What do I need to do? That was almost 2 years ago that I decided to do this room. And the difference now is that it's something that's accessible to the consumer. It's not something that takes a huge investment. It's not something that takes a huge technical know-how. And that's why this thing is winning. The goal behind this room was to be as accurate as possible across all formats. I'm using ATCs as my LCR. Those are accompanied by SVS subwoofers. For all of the other speakers, I've chosen JBL 306P Mark IIs. And it's amazing how they've locked in and work absolutely fantastically. The signal flow for the studio is a Mac Pro. I'm utilizing the Focusrite 16 line interface. From the 16 line, everything just goes out directly to speakers. So that is the path. It's clean, it's simple, and one of the great things about being my own room is I don't have to have a setup that flexes and changes depending on who's going to be in here or interfacing in a multi-room facility, but I was able to build a very concise, completely flexible system where my hands aren't tied. Now, every mix I do in stereo, I'm thinking Dolby Atmos music. The openness and the dynamic of Dolby Atmos music is huge. I think this is the next level of creativity, and several artists that I've had in, producers that I've had in to hear their Atmos mixes, the immediate reaction is, oh, this will change the way I think about everything. And I love that. I think it's a new frontier for us creatively.